Hi, this is Heather Picken, host of the Fearless and Fabulous Female Masterclass. You're going to learn in 90 days or less how to take your business to the next level. You want to go to the next level, you've got to align your mind to your vision and you got to take action. So I want you to take notes, and I also want you to consider to upgrade to the Fearless and Fabulous bundle. What that is experts paid products given to you for only $97. This is important because it's supporting a cause called She Should Run. And that is about getting 250,000 women running for office by 2030. I want you to be a fearless woman. Stand in your power and know what you stand for. I hope you enjoy this masterclass. Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to another masterclass of the Fearless and Fabulous Female Entrepreneur Summit. I'm so excited, and I'm going to get right into it because I know you don't have to waste, or you don't want to waste your time. Your time is very precious, and we're here to give you the secret sauce on what it takes to really build a winning team. And I have my guest today, Kelly Roach, and I want to tell you a little bit about her. Really interesting bio. She is an ex-NFL cheerleader, health and fitness nut, and mom. Not your typical business coach that you come across. And you know, her experience really speaks for itself. From handling hundreds of millions in assets and managing dozens of teams at once across 17 locations to engineering record-breaking turnarounds for companies and departments to really breaking through every single sales record in Fortune 500 companies' history, all before, and this is the key, 30 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's pretty phenomenal. Kelly, I want to welcome you to this masterclass. Thank you so much for being my guest.
Yeah, no, I am super excited to be here, and thanks for the great intro.
My pleasure, my pleasure. And we're going to be talking about leadership legacy, really how to build teams that will impact generations. And I love this topic because, you know, you can't do everything, and you have to learn how to build a team so that you can, you know, really enjoy the fruits of your labor, right? I think that's the key in creating a foundation. So we're going to start there on number one. Actually, the first thing I want to ask you is, what are some of the mistakes that you find people are making when it comes to hiring, team for their business?
Yeah. Well, I mean, first of all, let me start by saying the reason why I became fanatically obsessed with teaching people about building teams, especially women entrepreneurs, is that as women, we have a tendency to treat ourselves like we are just these unstoppable machines. And you know, I'm all about unstoppable. My show, my book, everything is unstoppable. But unstoppable is a mindset, right? And, you know, I think women entrepreneurs sometimes take on too much and burn themselves out. And a lot of what they're capable of achieving with growing their businesses doesn't come to fruition because they're focused on trying to do it all and be it all. They are the business, instead of really planning 3, 5, 10 years in advance by working on the infrastructure, the systems, and the right people to help them get to their ultimate goal. So, you know, that's really the reason why I'm kind of out there on every platform I can possibly find, talking about, you know, giving women this call to say, listen, build a business and life of legacy and start building your team now, because it's the only way that you're going to be able to stay in the game and achieve your true potential. So I just wanted to start by adding that in there, just the why behind it, you know?
Yeah, it's so important because, yeah, a lot of women think that they can do it all. And they don't realize that once you have a team in place, it actually gives you the freedom to be more creative and not to mention increase your bottom line, you know.
Oh my gosh.
It's important. But I find a lot of times, like you were saying, it's a mindset piece. They're like, well, then it's going to cost me more money. But the fact is like when you're allocating all of those other things, you know, for people to do, you're able to be in your genius zone.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. And you transition from spending your time inward facing, doing things that no one sees and is really not impacting your market in a meaningful way, to then transition to be outward facing. And what I always tell people is, like, as the CEO, you want to both be at the top of the ship, so that you can see any icebergs coming, right? And you also want to be at the top of the ship so you can see from a 50,000 foot view what's going on in your business, because otherwise you can't make the right decisions to grow your business. So there's so many different elements of why this is important, but exactly what you said there, you miss so much. And I think there is that perception. You said, like, what mistakes do I see with hiring? Well, the first mistake is the mindset around hiring, that this is going to cost you money, that it's going to be too much work, that it's, there's no one that can do it as well as I can, right? No one's willing to work hard these days. Like, these are the things that I hear all the time in the entrepreneurial community. And the really interesting thing about that is that's all in here, right? Like, that's right. Just like everything in our businesses, right? Like, you can look at any problem that you have in your business, and it typically starts up here, and then it goes from here to then being, materialize in the results that you're getting. And the same thing goes for team. So if you have the mindset that when you build a winning team, you're able to have leverage, you're able to scale, you're able to build and monetize profits through others, and you're able to transition from that inward facing to outward facing role in your company, well, then you're going to most likely have a lot of success doing this, right? But if you go in with the mindset that I hired in the past and everybody flames out, no one can do it as well as I can, I need to be the one to do it, or it's just not going to get done right. My clients love me. They're not going to feel comfortable. I hear this all the time. They're not going to feel comfortable having me pass, it on to a member of my team. And so I think mindset is the first and most important step of being able to leverage true entrepreneurial freedom. I think that goes into every aspect of our business, but particularly when it relates to team.
I love that. I mean, these are such golden nuggets of wisdom here. And I could actually relate to that and working with my clients. And what happens, I find, is, like you were mentioning before, no one can do it better than me. But once you let go of trying to control things, I find that obviously things kind of work themselves out. Now let's talk about some of the other things that, like, how do we really start, like, step one? You're starting to get momentum, or actually, you were saying in the beginning of building your business, you got to have some, you could start small. That's exactly what I did. And then you can grow. So what are some of the other steps that women really need to pay attention to when it comes to building a winning team?
Yes. So I would say, first and foremost, thinking every day about what your building process for developing your team is going to be. Because if you, as a woman entrepreneur, do not have a plan in anticipation of growth, what will happen is you will grow until you won't grow anymore. And then things will backslide because you will not have the bandwidth to serve. You will not have the energy to deliver. And you're going to get frustrated and throw your hands up and say, I'm not doing it anymore. I just don't want to do it anymore. And I've seen this from a lot of women. So what I would say is, you mentioned that you started small. I started small too. My first hire, I hired a VA for 1 hour a week. That was my first hire. And now I have a team of 7. So, it doesn't matter how small you're starting or where you're starting from, but the key is having a people plan and understanding that you want to be making the hire in anticipation of growth, not afterwards. And that is a very brave mentality and mindset that most people will not take on. But as a woman listening to this show today, if you can take on that mindset, it will prevent you from hitting that wall, which then causes your business to backslide and causes that cycle of burnout to happen, because you will be able to continue to grow because you're planning, you're preparing, you're setting yourself up so that you say, okay, 6 months from now, I'm going to hire someone in this role with this particular focus, and you're ready. The business is ready, you're ready, and you're going to hire before that wall hits that sets you back.
It's so true. And I'm actually going through this with another business that I am creating, a wine label. And so creating the infrastructure, planning that out, launching that in September. And so, it's funny because it's just like what you're talking about. The infrastructure is so key. So, where are some places that we can find the best people to, let's just say, because I find there's probably going to be two different categories of women that are watching this or listening to this. It's either women that are just starting out in their business and they're like, I'm going to do that later. And then women that have, they have some momentum, but they're still kind of the bottleneck in doing everything.
Sure. Yeah. So there, different strokes for different folks, right? Everybody has a different philosophy on what they want for their company. But here's the first and most important thing to start with. At the end of the day, any skill set can be learned or trained. What can't be learned or trained? Work ethic, integrity, drive, and internal locus for control. Right? So you have to develop a company avatar of the kind of person that you are comfortable bringing on board to represent your firm. And I don't care if it's a VA, a graphic designer, an admin, a salesperson, an ops person, a booking person, whatever that is. Define your company avatar. Define the qualities and characteristics that need to be present in the people that are going to represent your firm, and be open and flexible to training. I think one of the biggest mistakes I see people making is they go try to hire the expert. And, many times what happens is the expert that they hire is either charging them 17 times, what it actually costs to get the thing done. And that's why people are going broke and bankrupt and into all this debt building their businesses, right? Like they're paying someone $75 an hour for something that a college kid will do for them happily for $10 an hour, right? Like you have to assign the task at the level and the skill set that is correct for the thing. So for example, administrative things, you put out a message on social media to friends, to family, to the local university, all of those places, and say, we're hiring for, an admin 10 hours a week. They're going to be doing this, 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 and this, and this. There are so many resources out there for people to learn and grow and develop these skills that they need, that you have to first start by focusing on the person. But on the flip side of that, there are certain instances where it makes sense to hire an expert. For example, the first 4 years that I did Facebook ads, I hired a Facebook ad agency to run my ads. Once I had an established full-time internal marketing manager, then I paid a significant amount of money. I put her in a Facebook ads mastermind. I had her work with a high-level person, and now we do it in-house, right? So you have to make the right judgment call about what is the task at hand and what level person should be doing it. And referrals are always going to be your best way to hire. So I don't care if it's going to be a Facebook ads expert that you hire an agency. Don't hire an agency unless you get the recommend from someone that is using them right now and getting results. On the flip side, if it's an entry-level person, friends, family, the university that you went to, local contacts in the community, colleagues, it might even be your friend's son or daughter or neighbor or whatever the case. This is the best place to find top quality people. Always.
I love that. I love that you mentioned, that you can just basically find them anywhere. It doesn't have to be hard. Even if you have like an email list, you can send out an email. Hey, I'm looking for someone. I had a client do that and it worked out really well. I also like the fact you said spending, some time training them. I think that's really important. Putting together some kind of manual. I actually do video tutorials. And then, so once I hire someone, they can watch the video, and then I usually give them, I don't know if you do this, but I usually give them like a 30-day window. And if I find that they're not working out, it's like, okay, it's not a good fit. I tell them up front because I don't want to waste my time working with someone that just doesn't really get it.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a very robust intern to hire program in my company. And this is something I would also recommend to everybody listening that's been really successful for us. My full-time marketing manager, I hired this way. My operations manager, I hired this way. My booking manager, I hired this way. My PR person. So basically, we had these people come on an intern for us. They do an intern for credit position. So they're accountable to their school for working 15 hours a week, right? For an entire semester for you. What better way to determine if someone is going to be a fit for your company than them working for you? Right?
I love that. I love that. Yeah. So talking about the internship, because this is really interesting. Can anyone do it? Like, can you be at any level? Like if someone's just starting out, they can, and so they would just put an ad out in Craigslist or go to the college.
Go to the local university. I go to my own alma mater because it's local to where I live, and I create a job description. I talk to the specific instructor that is doing intern. So there is someone within every department, a instructor, that their job is helping match kids up with internships. Go figure. Go find that person in the communications department, in the marketing department, in the business department, and build a relationship with that person, and they will begin to refer people to you. And this is an extraordinary opportunity for college students today, because working for a small business, they get the opportunity to learn legitimate business skills instead of getting coffee, filing papers, doing nonsense, running errands that they would do if they were working for a big company, right?
I love that. And for people that are watching, they're like, oh my gosh, this is such a great idea. Is it paid? Do you pay them a little bit? Is it free?
We've done both. We've done both. So, the interesting thing is many students will do an unpaid internship when they're doing the internship for credit. Because guess what? In exchange for them to having to go sit in a classroom 3 times a week, take tests and write papers, they get to work for you. So there's an exchange there. So if you can do an intern for credit program, that's fantastic. You'll also find that the students will take the internship much more seriously, right? Because now they're getting a grade for it and it's pass fail. So if you tell the professor, hey, the student is messing around, they're not doing anything, they're going to lose credits for that. That could even extend how long they need to be in school for. So yeah, there's a lot to it. But I think at the end of the day, it's mindset of whenever you're, and this is what I try to teach my clients, whenever you want to add something into the layer of how you're going to build and grow your business faster, before you do the thing, you say, who is going to do the thing? And the who is not you, right? Yeah. So either the who is not you, or if it is going to be you, something comes off your plate and goes over to another person to make space for you to be able to do that new thing. And if you develop that mindset, you will always be thinking that way, and you'll be surprised how fast you can act on this. I literally have clients that have been stuck in this like solo mentality for so long. And we'll have a couple of conversations and I'll talk to them. They're like, I hired, a part-time person. They're going to be doing sales for me, or they're going to be doing marketing or whatever. Like, you can watch this podcast today, go take, action this afternoon. And by next week, you're already starting to be able to breathe again,
I love this, because this whole summit is about what you can do in 90 days or less. So
there you go.
Some golden nuggets of information on how we can leverage our business. Now, let's just say we've got the team in place. Now you got to step into that role of leadership. And I was wondering if you give some, what are some of the best strategies if you've never really done that? Because this happens a lot in the business world. You're building your business, you're all by yourself, and all of a sudden you've got these people working for you.
Yeah, no, thank you for asking that. I would say 99.99999% of employee issues are because of the employer. So the reason why we get so frustrated with employees and upset and disappointed in their performance is primarily because we did not give them the structure, the training, the coaching, the support, and the accountability that they need to thrive, right? So think about it like this. You're going to go on a road trip, right? And you get a car to go on the road trip. And you're like, I'll put some gas in the car once the car gets me from Philadelphia to California, right? Doesn't work that way. You got to put fuel in the car in order for the car to take you from Philadelphia to California, right? That's how we treat our people. We're like, well, we'll invest in them once they show us that they're performing. And it's like, wait a second, in order for people to perform for us, they need structure, they need accountability, they need feedback proactively on what they're doing so they can course correct throughout the day and throughout the week. They need follow-up. They need you to nurture and invest in them and teach and train them on how to perform in the way that you would want things done in your company and at the level that you expect of them. And no one is a mind reader. And this is a lot of where this friction comes from in the entrepreneurial world with hiring, because we are moving so fast and we are juggling so much that we expect other people to be able to join our circus and keep up with us from day one, right? But people need some onboarding in order to do that. So if you can just remember the statement that 99.99999% of employee issues are because of the employer, and you can take on that mindset that if I invest in putting fuel in the tank, the car will get me from Philadelphia to California, you will be amazed at what people are willing and able to do for you in your business.
I love that. I love that. So really spend time with them, and you keep going back to the mindset, which I'm all about. You got to align your mind to your vision.
Yes.
And part of your vision should be, hiring other people so that you can leverage your business. So Kelly, this has actually been so amazing. I just so appreciate everything that you've given us. And I encourage everyone to start taking action, whether you have a team, you need more people, or you're just starting out. Some of the tips that Kelly has given is, you could just start right away. It doesn't have to take a long time. And before we go, I know you've got a bonus gift. So I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about that. And the link for those that are watching or listening, it's right below the video. So you can go ahead and download it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And thank you for allowing me to share this message out there in the world, because I really want to see entrepreneurs get away from this burning candle at both ends, burnout mentality. And I think that can be completely eliminated when you build a winning team. I see that in my own life experience with my own team. And I see that with my clients every single day when they embrace this. So I hope that we were able to touch someone that was listening today. In terms of my free gift, so this is what I have for you guys. I know that most people that start small businesses don't have experience as a manager or as a leader. And I understand that it can feel really overwhelming. Like, what do I do with this person when they get there? And how the heck am I going to get them to make me money instead of costing me money? So I have this kind of like little grouping of trainings that I put together. It's called Big ROI, meaning big return on investment, so that you can take employees from being an expense to being an investment in your business that help you grow. And it's going to teach you things about leadership, about creating structure, about how to get people excited to come to work every day, about how to set them up for success, and all those things that you and I just talked about, but really getting into like the tangible tactics of like, okay, I get it conceptually, but now what do I need to put in place to win? So click the link below.
I love it. I love it. I encourage everyone to do that. Kelly, thank you so much for being my guest today.
Yeah, this was awesome. Thank you for having me.
And I just want to close this masterclass out with saying, you got to take action. You've got to have a strategy. If you want to leverage your business, like Kelly was talking about, you've got to have a team. And I encourage you to download that bonus. So you've got your plan. You can do this in 90 days or less. So I'm going to check up on everyone, and I want you to take action. So again, thank you so much for watching or listening. I hope you found this valuable. Until next time, this is Heather Picken. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye. So I hope you enjoyed this masterclass. Now, my question for you is, what are you going to do in the next 90 days? I want you to take action that is aligned with your ambitious goal. When I work with clients, I actually show them how to change the neuroplasticity of their brain. And part of the process is really understanding, what goal, what action that I want to take is actually in alignment with my vision and mission and purpose. So you want to make sure that you have that. My other ask is to consider doing the Fearless and Fabulous Female Bundle. That is an upgrade, and it's $97. It runs throughout the summit. The reason why that's important is, number one, it's going to accelerate the rate in which you start attracting your success with some of the strategies that these experts are offering you. Number two, it's actually going to support a cause called She Should Run. As I mentioned earlier, it's about getting 250,000 women running for office by 2030. As women, we are so powerful, and I believe we're really living in an interesting time that we can change the world with our work. So again, I hope you consider the Fearless and Fabulous Bundle, and I want you to take action, okay? I'm going to be checking up on you.